Call this session of court together, ready to start. As I understand from my notes, this is a case about a fox. I think what I understand happened, and I'll ask you to, you're both sworn in already, so I'm going to ask you some questions and you explain your position. But so that I understand, I believe there was a fox hunt for a charity on public grounds, and there's an issue of who owns the fox pelt when the fox was shot, and some other issues involving the charity. So I believe your name is George and your name is Kramer. George, you're the plaintiff, so you're the person that's bringing the lawsuit, and Kramer, you're the defendant, so you've been sued, so we're clear. So tell me a little bit about this day in question. What kind of day was it? What were you doing?
Turned out to be a rather nice day for a hunt. Of course, it was for a great cause, charity. It was a great fox hunt setup. I invested almost $2,000 into the hunt.
Well, we don't have fox hunts anymore. How did they work it? How does it work? The fox hunt work?
So usually it's like 2 to 3 members in a group hunt. Then there's some dogs. Some people bring their dogs in to chase down the foxes to track them down.
So it's a real fox hunt, like in the old days of England?
Yes. They try to keep it original. And that's part of the experience, to try to get the best experience out of it, to try to get the dogs involved, everybody involved, to have a really good time.
How does the charity make money?
So the charity makes money by you pay into it. So the first $2,000 into it. So including in that $2,000, you get a rifle. They provide you with a horse. They provide you with all the necessities, the clothing, the gear to get onto the hunt, boots, because you're in the woods, you're in the terrain. So you have to have those things when you're on the hunt.
So how much did you pay?
I paid around $1,500 to get all of my equipment. That includes the gun, my gear, camouflage, some camouflage, big boots for the terrain to keep your feet dry. Because it ended up raining towards the end of the day, but other than that, it was a pretty okay day.
Was there any kind of entrance fee for the charity or not?
No, there was not.
You didn't have to pay to get into it?
No.
So you gave them the money?
Correct.
And then whatever money they left over from giving you all the supplies,
right,
that was the profit they made?
Correct.
All right, so tell me what happened that day. What'd you do that day?
So we got up in the morning. I had 2 other friends with me. They couldn't make it in today, but we got ready. We got ready around 5 a.m. It was an early day. It's tough for me to get up at that time, but I did it. We got dressed. We got ready to go. It was a beautiful morning. We got the dogs ready to go. My horse, Mr. Ed, he was excited, so we got him ready to rock and roll.
Mr. Ed?
Mr. Ed.
Famous Mr. Ed?
Famous Mr. Ed. It's a descendant, but he's there, But
did you have to drive pretty far or not?
About an hour. So for myself, it was an hour. My friends, they live a little closer to there.
Well, where do you actually do a fox hunt? I mean, we don't have those anymore.
Well, they have a public lands dedicated for this type of hunt. So we were able to use those the charity is able to use those and designate those lands for special fox.
So it wasn't like on a private farm, it was in a public area?
Public area.
Maybe like a state park kind of setup?
Similar to that, yep.
Something like that.
Yep.
So anybody could go there, but if you want to be in the hunt,
yeah,
you had to pay.
Right.
All right, tell me more about what happened.
Usually they try to tell people to stay away from the specific land because it is for the charity, it is for these specific hunts. But getting back to our day, we got ready. We all ended up there. I got on my horse. It's about 3 hour, 2 to 3 hour hunt.
You were riding a horse for 2 to 3 hours?
Yeah.
Through the woods?
Yeah. About an hour and a half, 2 hours into it, my dog Lucky, he started going crazy. I knew he was on the fox. He was on it. We knew he was there. We knew something was going on. So we started about 10 more minutes, 15 more minutes later. We see the fox. We see at least 1 or 2 of them, but definitely one. and we got excited. My other two buddies, they went around to try to close the fox in so we can try to pinpoint him to a certain location.
Was your group like the only group right there at the point?
Yeah, they were the only group there that we know of.
The other ones weren't anywhere close to the fox.
Mm-mm. No,
Okay,
I was.
so
I was.
it looked pretty good for you.
Yes, I was almost there. It was
Until
perfect.
I came in.
Yeah, and you ruined it for me. But anyway, so we were close to the fox, getting the fox, and soon enough, about 150 yards away, I'm getting up my rifle. This was part of the package. I paid for this rifle. It was an expensive rifle. It was a Marlin 30-30. So I'm getting my rifle up. I'm getting ready to shoot. I'm trying to wait for the fox to get in a clear spot. And here, all of a sudden, I hear another bang. And I don't know where it comes from. I know it wasn't from my other two members in the group, and I don't know where it came from. And then I go to see where it shot. I knew it was around 150 yards where the shot came from. I couldn't find my fox. I knew I got it, but I don't know where it went.
So you aimed at the fox?
I did.
Yeah, but you don't know if you hit it.
I didn't take a shot. I was almost
you actually didn't shoot, but the fox was shot?
I heard another gunshot in the background.
But it wasn't in the other groups?
You know, it wasn't my other two members.
And there were no other groups around?
No other groups around.
So it was some other party?
Some other party.
And did you subsequently find out who it was?
Eventually I did. As I got closer, I tried to track it down. Maybe I could find it if somebody shot it. I went over to the area that I heard the gunshot, and this fine gentleman here was there with my fox that I spent a lot of money on. My group got together, and he comes out of nowhere and just takes it from me.
How's your fox? You didn't shoot it.
The fox pelt, that was worth something, and the winner was, from what I saw in the paperwork, the winner who got the fox also got the money for the pelt.
Yeah.
And that's part of what you're suing for today?
Absolutely. It was a $500 prize in cash. Whoever got the first fox would get that $500 prize. That's
All right.
part of my...
Now let's see what the fox shooter. What's your name, Kramer?
Yes,
And you were not part of this fox hunt,
I was not.
but you happened to shoot the fox.
Yeah, I was just out camping, and I heard about it on.
You heard about what?
About the event, the charitable event.
You knew
Fox
about it,
hunt, yes.
but you didn't want to sign up.
No, I'm too cheap for that.
You're cheap.
Yeah, I don't feel like paying the entrance fee and all the other stuff
No,
that he had
those
to pay for.
Boots you have on look pretty expensive. I don't know.
Well,
Yeah, they're
so
nice
okay, guys,
birthday
talk
gift.
to me now. So, where were you camping?
Just outside the area, or in the area where it was. I was kind of just camping out there. It's a public area, so I was just out there chilling. I don't really hunt much. I was just relaxing with, camping, and that was about it.
It was a legal camping grounds.
Yes.
And how long did you camp? One day? Was that the only time you
Yeah, I
were
was
there?
just there for the weekend, just, chilling and just relaxing.
And did you see any activity around the campground?
I heard some of the preparations and the horses about, but I didn't really think much of it. I didn't really plan on shooting it, but if it was there, I was gonna take the chance and do it.
Well, but you knew there was a fox hunt. Did you hear when it started? Did they blow a horn?
We have a horn. Yeah, it's blown.
And did they blow the horn?
Blown at the beginning of the.
And you were close enough to the beginning that you could hear the
Yeah,
horn?
yeah.
Maybe
like I
it
said-
circled around some way?
Yeah, like I said, I heard the horses coming up, and I figured that was kind of the event was going on at that point. So
Didn't
that's
you get
kinda
a
how I
hint?
knew. Yeah, it was a nice hint.
Well, you weren't anywhere near putting the plaintiff George in any danger, right?
No, he wasn't really around me until obviously the fox came around.
So you had a clear shot at the fox?
Yes.
All right, so tell me what you did. How far away were you? Did you had your rifle with you? You
Yeah,
were out for a walk?
I kind of just
You
took.
always go for a walk with your rifle, or were you actually
Well,
hunting?
I was out, I'm out camping, so I wanted to make sure I had a gun with me, just, in case something, in case an animal or something would come up on me or something like that and give me harm. So I just had it with me, just kind of for the heck of it. I didn't plan on shooting the fox, but, I knew if it came around, then, why not? It's public grounds. I can, it's, no one owns the fox. It's not like you own the fox, even though you prepared for it. So I saw the fox, and I saw the opportunity to shoot, and I'm a pretty good marksman. I like practicing shooting guns, and you know, I knew I could hit it, and I did.
Didn't you think it was unusual, though, that there was a fox hunt and you happened to see the fox in the fox hunt?
I thought it was just lucky, you know. I mean, to be able not to pay and be able to get a nice fox and get some nice money off of it, that was a nice gift.
And you weren't going to give that money to the charity, I assume.
Well, maybe.
You were thinking about it, but you didn't, did you?
No.
No. All right, so what happened after you shot the fox? Did you have a way to bag it or anything?
I just retrieved it and took it back to analyze, you know, how much I could possibly make off of it, just to, you know, see what, you know, the parameters of it was, and then this lovely guy came over and we had a nice conversation about it.
I bet this conversation wasn't that nice, but did you take
No,
it to
it was
like a
not.
taxidermist? Is that where they got the felt and then gave you some money?
Yeah.
All right, and then what'd you do with the money?
Um,
In other words, you didn't give it to the charity, so
No.
did you spend it on yourself?
Probably went on a nice camping trip.
You went on another camping trip?
no, I just used it for other amenities that, you know, I could use and have a better camping trip the next time.
Well, did you feel bad when he told you that he was part of this hunt and that he was chasing that fox all day?
I mean, originally, I mean, a little bit, but then, you know, I mean, no one really owns it. I mean, you can prepare all you want. So just like if you threw a horseshoe and it goes near it, like, it doesn't mean you get the prize. Like, you know, I just happened to just stumbled upon me, and I took the opportunity and seized it.
Well, how did you feel when you found out about him?
Well, as soon as I walked up and I saw him and I saw the fox there, I was not happy. Most people know in the area, when they live in that area, where the public game lands are for this specific fox hunt. They know that it's reserved for that. There's no camping. If you're camping there, you're not allowed to, and it's probably free. That's probably why you did it. But anyway.
Now, I think I saw in the notes that the charity really didn't want to get involved. They just said, did they say it was your problem?
Yeah,
or
they
what?
pretty much put it on us to figure it out, because they said they have to stay out of it. But I tried to figure it out on my own, but other people take other people's money and property.
So you understand what he wants. He doesn't want the fox pelt. He wants the money.
Yeah, I understand that, but you know, I don't really understand why he deserves it. He didn't shoot it, he didn't get it, so I don't really see why he needed any of the money.
What about that he chased it for hours on a horse?
That's not really my problem. I mean, he didn't shoot it. I mean, if he
Would be your problem if you woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning with your
had
best
the chance to
friend.
shoot it, didn't you?
spent a lot.
Talk to me. Talk to me now. Don't talk to each other.
I mean, he said.
I mean,
he
he was out there for hours.
Yeah, but you said, how far can you shoot that gun?
Well, no,
Pretty
no.
far.
Ask me now. Don't talk to him.
Farther than you.
Yeah, how far can you shoot that type of gun? Because
Well-
he said it was 150 yards. I mean, if you were further back, you'd still shoot at it. You could have got it before me.
Well, what you're saying is that maybe he would have missed, and the fox would have got away.
Yeah, it could have been, or he could have shot farther away.
You
and
did
got
him a
it.
favor, right? Are you saying you did him a favor by shooting the fox that he might have missed?
No, what I'm saying is that he could have been further back and shot it, and wouldn't have been an issue. I see as the opportunity that he didn't take.
All right.
But what if I didn't know he was there? What if I shot him?
Well, here's what we're going to
That'd been
do.
a bad shot.
I have all the information. I have your sworn testimony. I'm going to go back and think about this. I'm going to come back and make a decision. And you're seeking money,
That's
and you
correct.
want to keep your money.
Yes.
And I'll make a decision. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
We're in recess. Okay, we're back in session. This is the case involving the fox. Now, you gave me a lot to think about here. One of the things is the policy. I think the policy is if I say that you're right, then people aren't going to go out and have fox hunts or shoot foxes. And the farmers, you know, foxes present a problem. Some of them are an endangered species, but let's assume they're not. A lot of farmers get concerned because the fox kills their farm animals. So if I rule in your favor, then that means people aren't going to want to go out and spend all day fox hunting, because somebody like you could just come up at the last minute and take the fox.
Save
However,
people a lot of money.
however, if I rule in your favor, I'm saying that this fox was your property. And that's what this case is about. Who owns the property? And the property is actually a wild animal. And until you would get that animal absolutely under your control or shot and killed, that you control it, it's a wild animal. And what you did was absolutely rude. It was ignorant. He spent all day trying to catch that fox, and you walk over after camping, relaxing, and you shoot the fox. But based on property law, I have no choice but to rule in favor of you, the defendant. Case dismissed. Court case I just decided was a major property case in the 1800s called Pearson versus Post. And that case is used in virtually every law school in the country when they discuss property law. And in that case, what originally happened was that the trial court ruled in favor of the guy chasing the fox. And he said that he put all the time and effort in it, so he should get the fox. But then the appellate court said, what I ruled in this case was, a fox is a wild animal, and if you don't have it under your control, you don't have possession of it. Therefore, the fact that the second person came in at the last minute and took possession, that person is the one that had possession. So that is why I ruled in favor of the defendant in this case. And anyone that would like to look it up, it's on the internet. It's called Pearson, P-I-E-R-S-O-N versus Post, P-O-S-T. Now at this time, what we'd like to do is we're going to discuss the court system in Pennsylvania. And I'm going to be calling on one of our local magisterial district justices in a moment, who's going to come in and talk a little bit about the process. I wanted to just briefly go over the Pennsylvania courts so we know what we're talking about. The first court, and this is the one that Judge Dixon will be speaking about, is the Magisterial District Court. This is actually the court that sees more people every year than all the other courts in Pennsylvania, because this is where all criminal cases start, and many civil cases are held in Magisterial District Court. And a Magisterial District Judge is elected by the voters for a 6-year term. But I'm going to let Judge Dixon explain that in a little more detail. Once the case leaves district court, a criminal case, if there's enough evidence to go to court, and that's what the district justice has to decide, it goes to the next court, which is the Common Pleas Court. And that is the court, every county has at least one judge. Luzerne County, for example, has, I believe, 9. And what happens is, that is in the county courthouse. So if you're in Luzerne County, it's in Wilkes-Barre. If you're in Scranton and Lackawanna County, it's in Scranton. If you're in Schuylkill County, it's in Pottsville, and so on. The trial judges, the Court of Common Pleas, are elected for 10-year terms. And that is where the trials are held. People are sworn in, and they give their testimony, which is all saved and written down and typed for the court record. When someone wants to appeal to the next court, if it's a criminal case, it would go to the Superior Court, the court which I'm on. And we don't get to see the witnesses again. So if a police officer testifies about drugs on somebody's person, we don't see the policeman. The trial judge sees them, the jury sees them. We see the court record where they write it down. And we have to decide if there was an error of law at the trial court level. Did the person get a fair trial? We must take all appeals. All criminal appeals come to us, and most civil appeals. Our sister court is called the Commonwealth Court, again, elected judges statewide, like Superior Court judges. And they decide appeals from administrative agencies, basically election appeals and appeals from governmental agencies. And then the highest court, there's 7 Supreme Court members elected statewide. And they serve 10-year terms. And they decide what cases are most important for the people of Pennsylvania. So they decide what cases they will take, civil and criminal. So at this time, I'm going to call in an elected magisterial district judge, Judge Dixon.
Thanks, Judge.
Judge, thank you for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
Tell me a little bit, let's tell the people a little bit about your background. How did you become a magisterial district judge, and what did you do before?
Well, before I was a magisterial district judge, I was a police officer in Hazleton City. I served 14 years on the Hazleton City Police Force, 7 years as a patrolman, 2 years in a drug unit, and the last 5 years in a criminal investigation unit.
And then at some point, you ran for the office of magisterial district judge, MDJ we'll call it.
Yes, sir.
And you won.
Yes.
And how long have you been doing that?
This is my 8th year.
Okay, and your office is located where?
789 Airport Road in Hazel Township, right next to Walmart.
Now, tell me a little bit about one of the first things that happen when people are charged with a crime. They're brought before you.
Yes.
You see them first.
I do.
All right.
When somebody is brought in front of me for a criminal matter, the first criminal proceeding we have is what's called a preliminary arraignment. The purpose of a preliminary arraignment is for me to explain to the defendant the criminal charges that were levied against him by the police department and what their maximum penalties are. I also have to advise them of the right to an attorney. I set a date and time certain for a preliminary hearing. That preliminary hearing will be not less than 3 days from the preliminary arraignment date and not more than 21 days from the preliminary arraignment date.
Now, the preliminary hearing, that isn't required. A lawyer for the defendant can say they don't even want to have it. They could waive it, correct?
For the preliminary hearing?
For the preliminary hearing.
Yes, if they decide to waive the hearing, they also have to waive the right to counsel, and I have to explain to them some rules on what rights they would be giving up.
What is the arraignment, and when do you set bail?
I set bail at the arraignment. That's the fourth step of the preliminary arraignment.
And what is that actually?
Bail is set for primarily 2 reasons. One is to make sure the defendant is going to appear at court at all times required until the full and final disposition of that court case. The second is to make sure that that particular defendant is not a danger to society.
How do you decide how much bail?
Well, that's based off of many questions that we ask. First, we do not ask any questions pertaining to the particular case. I'm not permitted to ask them any questions about the charges brought against them, nor do I hear any testimony about that case at a preliminary arraignment. That is reserved for the preliminary hearing once they've had an opportunity to speak to their attorney and have their attorney by their side.
So you can't say you're a nasty drug dealer or whatever?
I'm not allowed to say that.
Okay, and then you set the amount of bail?
Yes. Now, I set that based on a series of questions, and this is particularly one of the sheets that I use, and it's primarily to see if they're telling me the truth, what their name is, where they live, how long they've lived at that address. Are they a member of our community? Do they have any ties to our community? What type of charges are they facing? Are they a flight risk based upon prior criminal cases? Did they appear for court when they were charged
So the ties
before?
to the community is important.
It is.
So if somebody's on Route 80 and comes before you and they have no ties here, they're more likely to get a higher bail. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Because you want to get them there.
Yes.
At the arraignment, is that when you tell them what they're charged with?
Yes.
All right.
I explain each and every charge and also what their maximum penalty of that charge can be.
Okay. And then if there's a preliminary hearing and you decide there's enough evidence to go to court, what happens next?
At that point, we would bound the charges to court, and I would set a dispositional hearing date for them to appear in front of the Court of Common Pleas. At the dispositional hearing date, a judge in the Court of Common Pleas would give them their next set of rules.
Okay, I appreciate, I think it's a good public service what you're doing just to let people know what is going on here. So thank you for
Thank
coming.
you. Thank you for
very
having
much.
me.